the message. Part of me's overstressing. Part of me gets the message. I guess we're for the glory.
Yo, what's up? It's me once again, Alec, Macdonald Avenue Church of Christ in Richmond, California. Back again with another episode. This time, we got Dat Boi TSS. He's going to be talking to us about keeping that same energy. When the light's on and when the light's off, when they watching and when they not watching, are you keeping that same energy in your walk? So, without further ado, I ain't even going to hold you. Talk to my man, have that conversation, listen to what he got to say, and I'll hit you when we come back.
Yo, what's happening, family? It's your brother, Corey Morton, a.k.a. Dat Boi TSS, huh? Yeah. Man, I'm just out here on the patio. Finally got some fresh air. Got my laptop, got my coffee, got my good word. Got the call from my brother, Alec. Wanted me to be a facilitator for this month's discussion with the Focus Ministry. And we're going to be talking about Paul as he was converted from Saul to Paul. Discussion topic is going to be keeping that same energy. Keeping that same energy. Looking at Saul's pre-conversion, he was a man who had a zeal for God, but he was doing it in the wrong way. He was literally physically dragging men and women out of the house and was taking them to prison and really, really putting them in a bad way to eventually, a lot of them were killed because of him dragging them out of the house and taking them to prison and eventually trialed and killed. And so, put on trial and killed. And so, what we look at with Saul's pre-conversion is he was active, super duper active in the wrong way. And so, what we see is on his road to Damascus, again on his way to drag out more Christians, God runs up on him, flattens him, physically and psychologically. But physically, he was physically weak. He also was physically blinded, but he was also spiritually blinded as well, because God said, "Why are you persecuting me?" And so it was from there, after he was led to another city, he was healed from his physical blindness and his spiritual blindness, that he was then awakened. And so from that point on, he was able to go and do what we see Paul do. Be about the king's business. And he went hard, just as hard, pre-conversion. And so as we look at this, I want us to really attach ourselves to Saul's conversion, post-conversion, pre-conversion. And let's look at it. Let's inspect it. Let's open it all up, and then most importantly, look at ourselves. What I want to talk about is, are we keeping the same energy pre-conversion to post-conversion? Are we keeping that same energy before we came to Christ? Some of us was really out here moving mean, myself included. Bold, energetic, passionate. Now, are we keeping that same energy? In the beginning, for me, I wasn't. I came to Christ, and I was not keeping the same energy. I was sitting on the pew. You can talk to any of my mamas or brothers and sisters in the church who I grew up with. They'll tell you. And there was a time where I was just going through the motions. I was baptized, but I wasn't converted. Woo! And so I had to first get converted and say, you know what? I really do believe who Christ is. I receive your spirit, Lord. And I'm walking in my resurrected form, risen. And it took some time. It took some time for me to get that. But it only took time because I wasn't ready to put down the things that I was doing in the dark. And so after the conversion, shortly after that, God's like, wait. You can't be just sitting on the pew. And this may be, hard for y'all to believe, because a lot of y'all see me now preaching, whatever, song leading, teaching, out here performing Christian hip hop, all the stuff. But before all of that, I was sitting on the pew. So I had to first be converted. And then once I got converted, then the Holy Spirit was like, no, 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 no. Come on off that pew, bruh. Come on off that pew. I need you active. That energy you had in the streets, that you was ready to hop out and do all these things at the drop of a dime. I need that. I need that same energy. And so I believe Christ is asking all of us that same question. Are you keeping the same energy pre-conversion to now post-conversion? Some of us was moving mean, and not just in the streets. That's just my example. Some of y'all was corporately moving mean. Some of y'all college. Some of y'all management. Some of y'all administration. Y'all can bust it down. All the stuff. Some of y'all might not even have those skills. Some of y'all just might have a gift of gab. Some of y'all just have really hard work ethic. Some of y'all just are good helpers. Are you keeping the same energy post-conversion? I'm going to be honest. If we are not keeping the same energy, we are wasting our time. And the Father's not pleased, just like he wasn't pleased with me. You see, there was a reason why he chose Saul. And although we can't see everything in his detail, I know for sure, because he wasn't afraid to get active. He wasn't afraid to get in people's face. And that's what he did. He got into the religious leader's face, started busting down the Greek with him. They were ready to kill him. That's how hard he was going. Are they ready to kill us? In this world we're living in right now, are they ready to kill Christians? To be honest, if they're not ready to kill us, or if they're not hating on us so much that they're ready to kill us, we're not going hard enough. Look, they was ready to kill Paul. They said, man, we got to get him out of here. This guy, he's got to go. Because of the energy and him putting all into this kingdom business and this kingdom work out there in the vineyard. Tough. That they were ready to lay hands on him now. And even when he first was converted, some of the apostles and the believers, they were like, man, who is this? Who is this? And it was Barnabas that said, nah, he's been converted. He's really with Christ. And so I want us to talk as we open it up in the Zoom later. I believe it's a Saturday, one of the Saturdays. You'll see the date posted. But are you keeping that same energy? Pre-conversion to now post-conversion. Because Christ needs that. Look, we need everybody on the field. The quarterback, the lineman, the running back, the receiver, the referees, the equipment, the water boy, the water girl, the coach, the assistant coach, the assistant coach, the owner, all that stuff. Every position we need on the field, not in the stands. Some of us are sitting in the stands, knowing that you have a gift, a talent, a niche, whatever. Get on the field. Christ needs that same energy. And look, you may not be a passionate person like me. You may not be able to get up and teach and preach. That's not my point. Are you bringing that same energy or that same niche to the kingdom? Some of y'all are some really good helpers. Some of y'all are really good point guards. Some of y'all are really good rebounders. Whatever position, whatever role, we need it all. And look, if they don't have your ministry, make it. 6 years ago or 7 years ago, they didn't have anything Christian hip hop. Nationally, it was doing its thing. But right here in Northern Cali, not so much. It was some small groups and some small people doing some, not small people, but there were some people who were doing some things, but it wasn't nothing major. And so I had to put myself in a position where it's like, man, I don't see anybody in my local congregation or where I worship, doing what I want, what God has called me to do. And so guess what the Spirit said? Make the ministry. Some of y'all youngsters, or some of y'all grown-ups, man, y'all into video games. There ain't no ministries for that right now. Make it. Some of y'all into makeup, into fashion. You can incorporate your ministry into that. Make your own ministry. Let's not use no excuses why we can't bring what God has called us to bring. Are you keeping that same energy? Are you bringing those same skills to the kingdom today? Guess what, family? We need it. We need it we need it yesterday, straight up. We see the transition that's happening as our older saints or more seasoned saints are now transitioning, whether they're leaving this place or just getting older. So now it's on us. And we need all hands on deck. No matter what you do, like I said, busted it all the way down, from the quarterback to the water boy. We need every position. It's very important. You even got the commentators. You even got the cameraman. There's so many pieces that go into the actual game. So just because you ain't the star quarterback, so what? So what? A lot of times when you look at these teams, the quarterbacks will tell you that the quarterback who's coming up behind them really helped them, or the coach, the assistant coach that they don't talk about, the special teams. Some of y'all got some special skills that we need in the kingdom. Some of y'all could just come into a room and it just changes the whole atmosphere. Some of y'all are good at getting people together. Look, we need to get people together. Whatever it is, don't minimize it. God has called us to use that skill, that niche, whatever it is, that energy. Keep that same energy. So we're going to talk about that. And I would like to know what's going on, where you at with it. Like I said, I myself had to learn. And now God is calling me to ask you the same question he asked me. You really finna sit here in this pew like you ain't got skills? Or you don't have the energy? We're wasting our time. We're wasting our time and we're robbing God. Y'all know the parable or the illustration that Christ gave for those who pretty much are substituting their talents. They bury their gifts. Y'all know. I've got to go into too much detail. That's the real thing, is y'all know if you're not bringing that energy. And so we have to figure out why and what we got to do to bring the same energy pre-conversion to now post-conversion. Saul to Paul. So let's talk about it. If you want to do some reading beforehand, go to Acts 9 and just do some studying on Saul to Paul and really just get a grip on what his conversion was like. And you'll see it. He was busting it down with the religious leaders, the Greek and everything. They was ready to kill him. So he was going hard. So let's think about those things and ask ourselves, are we keeping that same energy pre-conversion to post-conversion? Hope to see you on the Zoom chat. Again, it's your brother, Corey Morton, a.k.a. Dat Boi TSS. Tap in.
Yeah, I know. You got something to say, don't you? You feel a certain type of way about what he was talking about. I get it. It's controversial. He has some points that hit me in the gut. I know the sentiment. That's fine, because on Saturday, show up at 5 o'clock. Bring your questions, comments, concerns, and we'll talk about it. Join that Zoom conversation. We'd love to hear your input, your insight, how you feel about it. We got to start doing this with each other. That transparency is important. So show up, 5 o'clock, Saturday. I'll see you there. Peace.